Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. I attempted to film this video about a week ago. I wanted to do a for every book I haul, I unhaul a book. You've read the title, there is over 100 books in this video. So as you can tell, that video, as I was going along, was not going very well. Essentially, it would be talking about 200 books at the end of the day, and I was trying to find things on the shelves, the video was getting too long, and I'd filmed for an hour, and I'd only gotten through the first stack, and I have 6. So I scratched that. I will do a for every book I haul, I unhaul a book, with a much smaller book haul. Oh, you can already say some, can't you? Oh, hang on. Let's just move that out of the way, there we go. Element of surprise. So there isn't any challenge, there isn't any kind of special thing that I've planned for this video. I was also thinking shots for every book I haul, but then, you know, that would be over 100 shots and you guys would shout at me. So this could end up being a long one, so sit your ass down, get cozy, get yourself a drink, and hopefully you'll find some brand new books in this haul that you've never heard of before. Who knows? Maybe some recommendations of things that I haven't read yet, but they look really good. I feel like this is a very, very good haul, just from everything I'm looking at. Very good haul. The way I'm going to structure this video is I'm going to start with the nostalgia books that I have a big old pile of. These are ones that I've thrifted, essentially. A couple have been gifted, thrifted and gifted. And then I have a stack of middle grade, and then I have a little stack of like manga and graphic novel, and then I have a stack of Agatha Christie, and then I have 2 stacks of adult and young adult. They're a bit mixed together, that's fine. So yeah, let's get straight into the first lot. Okay, I got these since the last haul, but I've already done a video on these books and I've already read them all. And that is the New Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley. I got 5 of the books. I got Game Show Mystery, Rockstar's Secret, The Case of the Missing Mummy, Jingle Bell Jinx, and Giggling Ghost. And I've already got a reading vlog dedicated to all of these. But yes, you know Mary-Kate and Ashley, those iconic twins from like the 90s, early 2000s. They were my life for a long time. And these are the books that were, well, not exactly based on their real life, but they are young detectives and they solve cases. And because I've been getting so much more into my mystery lately, this is perfect for me, absolutely perfect for me. So do check out that vlog if you want to know more about each one, my thoughts on them, and have a good time essentially, because these are a damn good time. And then I got 3 Goosebumps Horrorland books and 1 Goosebumps Hall of Horrors book. And these 3 were actually gifted to me from Emma, so thank you so much for sending me these, Emma. These are the Horrorland series, which I think there's 18 or 19 of them, and I have the first 10, and then this is 11, 12, and 14. So we have Escape from Horrorland, The Streets of Panic Park, and Little Shop of Hamsters. Aww. I've just uploaded my Reading All 25 Goosebumps Series 2000 books. So after the Goosebumps Series 2000 series, it's the Horrorland series. So I'm in desperate need of these. I won't be reading them until around about September time. But, you know, it's handy to have. So thank you so much again, Emma, for sending them. And then the Hall of Horrors book is kind of a part of the Horrorland series. There's like 6 of them. And this is the Birthday Party of No Return. So thank you so much, Amanda, for sending me this. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with the Goosebumps series. They're just nostalgic to me. So I've been trying to read all of the ones that came out after, all the ones that I originally read when I was a kid, and just making my way through them all, and making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing, I'm homebound, diddly diddly dee. But yeah, this is extremely handy to have, so thank you so much again, Amanda. And then I got a whole bunch of Sabrina the Teenage Witch books from eBay. I got these ones, these 13, in a bundle. The listing said 15 Sabrina the Teenage Witch books, okay, it said 15. However, only 13 came. Then I looked at the photo on eBay and it was actually 13, so it was just the wrong title. There was actually only supposed to be 13. I'm letting it slide. And then I got the very first 4 Sabrina the Teenage Witch books as well. I don't know if I can read all 55 of them. There are 55 Sabrina books. So yeah, I've got 17 if I can count correctly. 17 of them, so there's still a whole lot more to go. So I might just pick a whole bunch of these to read for one vlog, maybe read as many as I possibly can in a week, do a little bit of Sabrina the Teenage Witch antics, who knows, and yeah, see how these get on, because I remember reading a couple of them when I was a kid, never kept any of them, unlike my Charmed books, but yeah, I'm definitely wanting to collect the entire series again. Why do I do this to myself? Like, this will not be cheap. Although this whole stack probably cost me around about £40, which isn't too bad when you think about it. Still, that £40 could have went towards food, I guess. And then the last ones of the like nostalgia series. I'm so excited about these. One Tree Hill. I had no idea these were books, and I did my books to read in one shitting video, and I just said on a whim, you know, oh, One Tree Hill. And I thought, oh, I don't know if actually there were books released when One Tree Hill was airing. You know how like every TV show under the sun pretty much had a book series as well? Well, One Tree Hill had two, and it only had two. These are the only two books that ever came out. So we have One Tree Hill the beginning, and then One Tree Hill A Heart So True. This one cost me like £30 on its own. This one is a little bit harder to get hold of. So I was like, am I really going to spend £30 on a book from 2005 based on One Tree Hill? Yes, absolutely. So these are the only two. I can definitely do a reading vlog on One Tree Hill books in like, that will be over in like 20 minutes, you know? It's going to be so fun. I love One Tree Hill so much. It's one of my favourite TV shows, or like drama anyway. Well, I think it's probably in my top 10 of all time. I love One Tree Hill so much. I'm excited to read them. I think this one is a bit of a novelisation of the very first episode, the pilot. And then this one, A Heart So True, is a brand new story. It's an exclusive peek into the lives of Brooke, Peyton, Lucas, Nathan and Hailee that you won't see on TV. And yet they've only got 3 of the characters on the cover. I would be offended if I was the other two. Okay, so that's all my thrifted nostalgia books. Let's get into the middle grade. Firstly, I had to pick up a finished copy of The Thief Who Sang Storms by Sophie Anderson. Literally one of my favourite middle grade authors of all time, if not one of my favourite authors in general of all time. Love her books so much. This one is also signed. I did get to meet Sophie for the stage production of The House of Chicken Legs in Manchester. Oh my gosh, it was like 2-3 weeks ago now. Time is flying by. I can't concept time. But this one follows Lynette, who wishes she could sing magic. However, singing magic is forbidden. I believe her and her dad are, banished to the Mournful Swamp. The island that they lived on is shaped like a broken heart. Lynette has to try and save her father as well as heal this island. So it's gonna be filled with incredible, gorgeous imagery, writing. Love Sophie's books so much. So I'm really excited to read it. I haven't read it yet. Like, how bad is that? I just keep meaning to, and I just haven't. I've still got my bookmark in there as well, ready to go. And then I got The Ogress and the Orphans by Kelly Barnhill. The publisher sent me this. Thank you so much to Piccadilly Press for sending me this. This one follows a bunch of orphans who live at the Stone in the Glen. And there is an ogress who lives on the outskirts of town. And she is pretty much blamed for bad things that happen. And I believe a child goes missing, and yet again the ogress is blamed for it. So these orphans are trying to find out what really happened, as well as, I think, bond and connect with this ogress who just seems to be getting blamed for everything for no good reason other than she's an ogress. Like, I feel like this one will also be a really good emotional one. And it's Kelly Barnhill as well, who wrote The Girl Who Drank the Moon, so expect tears. I got sent Orphans of the Tide, Eternity Engine from Puffin. This is by Shrew and Murray. This is the third and final book in the Orphans of the Tide series. I absolutely adored the first one. It was such a surprise to me when I first read it, gosh, 2 years ago. So I'm probably going to reread that one, read the second one for the first time, and then read this, the third and final book. And yeah, if I remember correctly, we're set on the last city on Earth. Everywhere else has been flooded, and everyone is worried about the enemy returning. And there is a boy who washes up in the belly of a whale, and everybody believes he is the enemy returned. However, our main character, I think her name was Ellen, I can't remember now, but Ellen, she tries to save this boy because she doesn't believe that he is the enemy returned. It is so good. Like, honestly, it's so surprising. The twists and turns were brilliant. Beautiful, gothic, atmosphere, everything. Amazing. I picked up Furthermore by Darren Simpson. This one sounds like it could also make me cry. All I know of this one is that it follows a young boy who lost his sister. She died, and she is still alive in this imagined world called Furthermore that our main character escapes into. So again, this one also sounds like one that'll be quite emotional, quite hard-hitting. Yeah, it looked really interesting. I really like the cover of it too. Knights of sent me Zoe and the Forest of Secrets by Aleke Pilgrim, and this one is an upcoming middle grade. This one is set on an island, and our main character Zoe knows this island like the back of her hand. However, one day she decides to run away from home, and when she's running through these forests, she realizes that not everything is as it seems. She actually gets lost, and she's confused, and then yeah, she needs to unlock the secrets of this forest. And it's published by Knights of as well. I freaking love Knights of so much. So I think this one is also going to be another fantastic one. It sounds like quite magical, very fantasy based. And we also have a beast is on her heels and a lost boy thrown into her path. Could a mysterious abandoned facility hold answers? Ooh, is this Lost? Is this like the kids' equivalent of Lost? I'm into it. I also got sent When I Say Blue by Lily Bailey from Orion. And this one, I believe the main character has OCD. It just says there are 4 things you should know about Ben. He's 12 years old. He's a new kid at school. His special number is 4. He has a bully in his brain. An unforgettable story about life with OCD and the unique power of friendship from author and mental health activist Lily Bailey. So, oh god, this sounds like it could be a very important middle grade. Yeah, that's all I know about it. But thank you so much for sending me it. I don't know when it comes out though. Oh, 9th of June. This one comes out on the 9th of June. And Zoe and the Forest of Secrets comes out on the 2nd of June. So both of these books come out in June. I've already got pins and needles in my leg because I'm sitting on the floor. I don't know why I sat on the floor. A huge thank you to Amanda again for sending me Zora and Me by Victoria Bond and T.R. Simon. When I did my A to Z of middle grade video last year, I mentioned this one as a book under Z, which I hadn't read yet, but it was the only book that I could really find that began with Z and was a middle grade. So ever since then, I've been really interested in actually reading it because it sounds really good. It also sounds like really dark as well because there is a man who is found murdered, and I think it's Zora, she is the main character. She believes that it's like this alligator man that's killed him. A shape-shifting gator man with a hunger for human voices. Along with her best friends Carrie and Teddy, Zora sets out to find out what actually happened to this murdered man. It sounds phenomenal. It does sound really dark and twisted, and that's what I love in middle grade too. I love the dark and twisted ones. Really excited to read it, so thank you so much again, Amanda, for spoiling me and sending me another book. Huge thank you to Farshaw for sending me Dreadwood by Jennifer Killick. This is from the same author as Crater Lake. This one sounds really good, but very hard to describe. Essentially, this group of kids go to detention on a Saturday, and there's no one else really in the school except their teacher gets dragged underground and the janitor is whistling Itsy Bitsy Spider, I think. And there's just like really strange things going on in this school on Saturday. Yeah, that's literally all I know about it. There's nothing really else to go on. It just says there's something lurking in the shadows and it's out for revenge. So it sounds really good, and I love me a middle grade horror, so catch me reading this ASAP. But speaking of dark books as well, there was another one that got sent to me called The Dollhouse Murders by Betty Wren Wright. Amanda, once again, spoiling me with this one. But this one is a bit of a classic now, I think. 35th anniversary edition of the bone-chilling classic mystery. This one is about dolls. There are dolls in this dollhouse that move around, and we follow Amy, who hears they're moving about in the attic, the scratching sounds, and it sounds very like insidious. And Amy has to wonder whether all of this is connected to the death of her great-grandparents. Oh, not even just death, murders. Oh my gosh, there's so much murder in middle grade. Wow. I kind of like it. I have heard that parts of this has not really aged very well. I don't know what it means by that, but I'm interested to find out. I have been interested in the story of it. Yeah, if there's something problematic in it, I'm going to call that shit out. But until I read it, I won't know what it is, unless somebody tells me in the comments. I had to pick up a copy of Dragon Rising by Katie and Kevin Sang. It has the Waterstone sprayed edge to match my first 3 Dragon Realm books, which also have a Waterstone sprayed edge, and I'm so excited to read this because the first 3 Dragon Realm books had a different arc. Like, that was a bit of a complete arc, so book 4 is going in a totally new direction, but essentially the series followed 4 kids, and it still follows them. Yeah, it still follows the same characters. 4 kids who come across legendary dragons in a mountain, and they bond with these dragons and get incredible powers from that. That is the bare minimum kind of synopsis of that, but extremely excited to read this one. Love the first 3 so much, and the series has gotten better and better and better as it's gotten on, so I can only imagine that Dragon Realm 4 is probably the best book in the series so far. I have a couple more proofs to get through. Firstly, we have Magic Bone by Peter Bunzel. Thank you so much, Usborne, for sending me this. This one comes out in May, and it looks so good. I love the look of the proof, and it came in a box as well. I don't know where that box has gone, but it came in a box and it was so cool. It says the year is 1726 and the Royal Sorcerer of England is on the hunt for those who are magic born. So it sounds like a bit of a witch hunt kind of middle grade. There is a deadly fairy curse as well at play, but that's pretty much all I know about it. There isn't really anything synopsis wise to say what this book is about. It says the curse has changed, you'll never know, the truth is lost, and the lie will grow. Ooh. And plus, Peter Bunzel wrote the Coghort books, so expect some incredible middle grade fantasy from this one. A huge thank you to Source Books for sending this all the way from America. All the way from America. I never ever get American proofs, but for the last 2 years, I've been getting a specific author's proofs whenever they've been available, and that is Lindsay Curry's The Girl in White. I am so freaking excited to read this. I loved Scritch Scratch. I loved What Lives in the Woods. This one is the 3rd proof I've gotten from them, and I think it's because I've just been like such a big fan and a big supporter of Lindsay on my channel. So thank you, Source Books. Honestly, all the way from America, you guys are the best. I remember talking about this with Lindsay Curry during our interview in October, I think it was, and she mentioned a really creepy rhyme that is going to be in this, And I want to know if I can find that rhyme. Okay, like there's a page for the rhyme. It's so creepy. Sweet Molly once lived in Eastport. Sweet Molly once loved the sea. Sweet Molly lost Liam to the shadows. Now Sweet Molly is coming for ye. Oh, like shivers. I can't wait to read it. This one follows 12-year-old Mallory, and she comes face to face with a ghost. I'm assuming Sweet Molly, and she has to stop a centuries-old curse from destroying the town. Honestly, I freaking love Lindsay Curry's writing, okay? So I'm really excited to have this one. Thank you so much, Soul Spooks. Anderson Press sent me a final copy of The Colour of Hope by Ross Mackenzie. I did receive a proof of this a couple of months back. Shame to admit I haven't actually yet read it, but I'm really excited too. It does look really good. Apparently we follow this emperor who has stolen all colour from the world, and then a girl is born and she can see colour. She is the only person who is able to bring colour back, and the emperor doesn't want that to happen, so he hunts her down. Can the girl and her adopted father survive in the forest, and what will it take to return colour and hope to the world? So Ross Mackenzie wrote the Nowhere Emporium in that series. I will read this eventually, I promise. I promise. It does look really, really good. Huge thank you to Nicola for sending me The Truth Pixie by Matt Haig. I have the other Truth Pixie book. I think it's the second Truth Pixie book, and I've had that for a couple of years, and for some reason I never picked up the first one. Thank you so much, Nicola, for sending it. And this one is just set in that Boy Called Christmas world, and it follows a side character from A Boy Called Christmas. And that's all you really need to know, yeah? It just follows a pixie. A very funny and lovable tale of how one special pixie learned to love herself. Sounds cute. I picked up a paperback copy of Pages and Co. The Book Smugglers by Anna James. I already own this in hardback, and I've already read this and loved it. The Pages and Co. series is set in a world where people can book wander, so you can go inside a book, or characters can come out of a book. There's this whole world, there is this whole system to it, and we followed Tilly in the first 3 books. We do still have Tilly in the 4th book, however, the main character is more Milo, and Milo is a character we met in the 3rd book, and he is a character from the Sesquipedalian, which was this magical train that like travelled between places. It's incredible. I love the 3rd one so much. Anyway, this one, it has Tilly as like help to Milo, so that Milo can, in the 5th and 6th book, become more prominent as a character. So I'm really excited about that, but I love the book. I had to get the paperback copy because I have the first 3 in paperback. I also have all of them in hardback. I just love the series, so I was going to get it, of course. Huge thank you to Tracy for sending me Aggie Morton Mystery Queen, The Body Under the Piano by Marth Jocelyn, I think it is, with illustrations by Isabel Falath. And this one is based off of Agatha Christie and Poirot. Yeah, it just takes Agatha Christie, makes her into a fictionalized young girl who solves mysteries with her best friend, who is called Hector Perot, so that you can see kind of where the inspirations of certain characters in Agatha Christie's works will come from in this. I mean, totally fictionalized, but it is inspired by the real life Queen of Crime Agatha Christie herself. And this is the first in a series as well, and apparently it's set in a cozy seaside too, so it's like a really cozy middle grade seaside kind of series. So I'm excited to read it. A huge thank you to Puffin for sending me a finished copy of Wilder Than Midnight by Kerry Bennell. I did also get a proof copy of this one. Oh my god. Again, I do really want to read it. It sounds awesome. I believe this follows 3 separate characters whose storylines end up converging. One of them is locked in a tower, one of them is lost in the woods, and one of them is left to the wolves. And yeah, it's set in Silverthorn. It's a kingdom of mysteries, castle of locked doors and hushed secrets, a village trapped between terrors known and unknown, a forest of trees and tangled thorns. And yeah, it just sounds really, really good. You're going to notice that I'm repeating myself a lot already. Book hauls are so hard to film, honestly. You might think that they're easy to film, but they're actually not. They're actually probably one of the hardest. And the last middle grade book that I have is Hedge Witch by Skye McKenna. This is the finished copy. It's just come out in hardback, and I love Under the Dust Jacket. Like, that is beautiful. Absolutely stunning under the dust jacket there. And you know what, it kind of really suits not having a dust jacket on. I would probably keep this on the shelf without it, but for the purposes of this video, I will keep it on. I do still really like this cover as well. This one follows Cassie, who ends up coming across the magical town of Hedgley, and while there, along with her talking cat and broomstick, she comes across somebody who is going to be training her to be a witch so that she can watch over the hedge, which is a magical division between human and fairy or something like that. I need to read this first and then tell you what it's about. I do love the sound of it though. It does sound a little bit like, say, Kiki's Delivery Service or Eva Evergreen. You know, books a bit like that. But I eat that shit up. I love those books. So I'm going to love this and I'm not going to accept anything else from it. So getting into the graphic novel slash manga slash Danmei, I think it's called. So firstly, a huge thank you to Madison Mary from Princess of Paperback for sending me Therapy Game Restart by Meguru Hinohara. And this one is the first one in a series, so there will be more. This one reminds me of Dick Fight Island because, I mean, there is graphic sex in this. I can't believe I'm starting with this one right after doing the middle grade section. But yeah, there is graphic sex in this, and it looks so good. But Therapy Game Restart, I can't make heads or tails of the synopsis as well. It just says that Shizuma and Minato are officially a couple. Shizuma, now a resident veterinarian, is so busy he barely has time to catch his breath, let alone go on a date. When he finally manages to find time for Minato, the universe intervenes once again, and he learns quickly that his feisty new beau is not to be ignored. So yeah, it doesn't really tell you a whole lot, but boy, are these scenes hot. I should not be looking at these on camera. Hot! And Madison Mary is fantastic for manga recommendations, so thank you so much for gifting me this. And a huge thank you to Harry for sending me Fence Volume 1. This one has been recommended to me for years. For years. People have wanted me to read this for years. This one, I believe, is LGBTQ+. And it follows Nicholas, who gets accepted into a private school, and he loves to fence. But I hope it's like really cute, really gay. That's all I want. And then after I posted my Come Book Shopping With Me video, which was so chaotic, by the way, oh my god, if you haven't seen it yet, link down below. Some of the books that are coming up I hold in that video, but there were some books that I was thinking of getting but didn't, and lots of people screamed at me in the comments for not getting them, so I did end up buying these three. And these are what is called Danmei? That's what it says on the back, and that's what people said in the comments as well. So again, I'm like so brand new to this whole genre of book, so if I'm pronouncing things wrong, I apologise. But apparently this is all boy love, it's all gay. Yes, gay and fantasy. So what are these about? And I feel like I'm going to have to try and explain what each one of these is about. So firstly, I have the Scum Villain Self-Saving System, and there are two names on here. Is one of them like translated? Oh, translate, no. Right, there are two kind of names. There is like one there under the title, and then there is this name here. On the very back it says that Mo Jing Tong Zhu, I probably said that so wrong, is the actual author. Oh wait, hang on. I'm so confused, hang on. Oh no, hang on. On the sides it's got different names. So I'm a little bit confused because it has these names on the front there. Maybe they're the translator, maybe. But okay, I'm just gonna go off on the side of who the author is because, oh hang on, but they're on the bottom as well. I think the author might be, for Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, I think it's Mo Dao Zhu Shi. And then for the Scum Villain Self-Saving System, it's Rensa Fanpei Siju Zitong. And then for Heaven's Official's Blessing, Tin Guan Sifu, I think. But then it also has Mo Xing Tong Shu on the bottom too. So starting off with the Scum Villain Self-Saving System then. This one follows a half-demon who rose from humble beginnings and a tortured past to become unrivaled in strength and beauty. With his dominion over both the human and demon realms and his 100-strong harem, he is truly the most powerful protagonist in a trashy web novel series. Web novel? Oh, there are illustrations, to be fair, which is so cool. But it's like normal text, it's like a normal novel. So I think most stuff happens, a character dies and gets reborn into the body of someone else, and things happen. I don't know, I really love the look of these books in general, so that sounds good. Heaven Official's Blessing then is about the crown prince of a prosperous kingdom and renowned for beauty, strength, and purity. He ends up getting cast from the heavens and banished to the world below. 800 years later, he wants to ascend to godhood for the third time and grin most of the gods in the process. To repay his debt, he is sent to the mortal realm to hunt down violent ghosts and troublemaking spirits who prey on the living. But again, I think it's gay, so that's also going to be fantastic. And then finally, Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. This one also has a bit of a resurrection. The main character wants to seek new power through demonic cultivation, and his eventual death is celebrated throughout the land. However, years later, he awakens in the body of an aggrieved young man who sacrifices his soul so that he can exact revenge on his behalf. Again, sounds really good, and I just absolutely adore the covers of these. They just sound so entertaining, so adventurous. And yeah, I listened to you guys. I got them. So I'm excited to read them. I might try and read them in one vlog, see if I like this whole Danmei kind of thing. But also please do correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments about the pronunciations. I will get it right for the inevitable vlog for those. So next I have Agatha Christie, and I'm not going to go through all of these, so this will make this video a lot shorter. But I did go through a whole spell of just wanting all of Agatha Christie's works. I've calmed down now. I haven't bought an Agatha Christie book in a couple of weeks now. But the ones that I did get are all of these ones. Shit. That looks so bad when I hold them up. But yeah, these ones I got over the last like 5-6 weeks. In some of these I did get in that Come Book Shopping With Me video. So I'm not going to go through every single one that I got, but a couple that I got gifted from Stefana were Curtain, Poirot's Last Case, and The Mystery of the Blue Train, which I love. These versions that have come out, these hardback versions of Agatha Christie's books, they look so pretty. So that's that one. And then I did also get myself And Then There Were None, because again, that cover is gorgeous. I will show you the hardbacks actually. There is also 450 from Paddington, the ABC Murders, and also the Tuesday Club Murders as well, which is absolutely stunning. So I really do love these hardback editions. But again, thank you so much, Stefana, for sending me 2 of those books. I'm not going to buy another Agatha Christie book for a while. I mean, I say that now, but we'll see. And then finally, I've got 2 stacks left, and these are the adult and the young adult books. 2 of them you would have already seen if you saw my I Have to Like My Friend's Favourite Books or I Unsubscribe from Their Channel episode 1 video. And one of them is The Burning Girls by C.J. Tudor, and the other one was Malice by John Gwynne. I enjoyed both of these books so much, and this one is a thriller about a vicar, a female vicar, who moves to a small town with her daughter, and she seems to be haunted by her past. And Malice by John Gwynne as well, very hard to explain, so I'm not going to even try. But I really enjoyed it as book 1 in the Faithful and the Fallen series. Looking forward to reading the rest of the series. It's very slow going though, so do bear that in mind if you read this. But all of my thoughts on this one and The Burning Girls are in that video. And I think because I enjoyed Malice so much, the wonderful Carrie from Carrie's Book Brew sent me this. I will link her channel down in the description box, but sent me The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. And this one looks really good too. I've heard great things about it. It is a Norse-inspired world packed with myth, magic, and bloody vengeance. Norse-inspired? Look, I have been obsessed with Norse mythology for a while. You might not know this, but I have been. Ever since playing God of War on the PlayStation. But I am really looking forward to this, so thank you so much for sending me this, Carrie. These next ones as well, I hold in that Come Book Shopping With Me video, so I'll only briefly mention them. But I did get Gilded by Marissa Meyer. This was recommended from a bookseller. The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, and this one was also recommended to me from a bookseller. I asked both booksellers there for a recommendation so that I could read them and see if they have taste, essentially. I also picked up The Cabinet at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. This one was recommended from Katie Colson, so I was excited to pick it up and see it in that Waterstones. And then I got 3 Colleen Hoover books that, you know, that Steph from Steph Loves helped me pick. So November 9, and then It Ends With Us, and then All Your Perfects. And I actually realised this when I was editing the video. It looks like this one has like some kind of lipstick or blood on the side of it. The day after the book shopping video, so it wasn't in the book shopping haul, I went into another Waterstones and saw this on the shelf, and it sounds so good. This is called Whisper by Chang Yuko and translated by Roddy Flag. And here, victims describe hearing a voice before they die gruesomely. Sometimes it's in Taiwanese, sometimes it's in Japanese, but sometimes it's also a plea for help from a loved one. We then follow a taxi driver who is desperate to find out what happened to his wife when she died, and hopefully before he becomes the next victim. It says here that Whisper is a plot-driven Taiwanese horror story. Chang Yuko cleverly combines Taiwanese folklore and the Japanese occupation of Taiwan and the long-term mistreatment of the country's Aboriginal people in a tale of how the past can still kill. So it just sounds like it's going to end up horrifying me, and excited to read more translated works. Oh my god, this is really bizarre. You know how I just mentioned Katie Colson, talking about The Cabinet at the End of the World? She has just mentioned me in a story, and that was 2 minutes ago. While I was talking about The Cabinet at the End of the World, she knows. She knows I was talking about her. I wasn't talking shit. But that is so bizarre. What? I'm a little bit freaked out. Is she watching me right now? While I was at Steph's, she was unhauling a couple of books, so I ended up taking The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page from her. I think this was an Illumicrate book, but I have always been interested in reading this. I just haven't really gotten round to picking it up, but it has been on my radar. But essentially we follow some sorority girls who are witches. There is this wicked power that's kind of rising on campus, and this coven of witches have to deal with it. It sounds so good. It sounds so good. And I love anything to do with witches. So again, I don't know why I didn't pick it up earlier. But yeah, thank you so much, Steph, for letting me have this. And then also Kingdom of the Curse by Kerry Maniscalco. I have the first one from a Fairy Loot box, Kingdom of the Wicked, and I'm interested in reading it eventually. It isn't really tickling my fancy just yet, but I thought, you know what, if Steph's getting rid of this, I might as well have the second one in hardback too, so that, you know, I can complete the collection, so that when I do end up reading the first one, I have the second one straight at hand to read. So I don't even know a single thing about what the series is about, what the first one's about, what this one's about. I'm just gonna have to move on and hope that you know yourself. When I was in London with Anna James, she recommended a couple of books to me. She recommended Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, and I've been really interested in reading these books. It just sounds like such a fantastic writer that I would love to read so that I can maybe, I don't know, get a little bit smarter while reading. This one is one of his most acclaimed novels, apparently. And it follows Kathy, who is 31 and is coming to terms with her childhood at the seemingly idyllic Hailsham school and with the fate that has always awaited her and her closest friends in the wider world. But yeah, it sounds good. I'm always looking for more recommendations that get me out of my comfort zone. And then also Playing Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. I believe this is queer. I believe that's what Anna said. I might be totally wrong. But this is set on the site of an all-girls school, which was the site of horrific murders that happened like 100 years ago. Oh, and it is queer because it says on the back that in the early 1900s, students Flo and Cora fell madly in love. It says a few months later they were found dead in the woods after a horrific wasp attack. 3 more grisly deaths followed before the school was forced to close. Now the school doors are open once more. But as a crew of glamorous young actresses assemble to start filming, past and present begin to blur. And soon it's impossible to tell quite where the curse ends and Hollywood begins. Oh, so I feel like they've opened up the school for filming. Now it seems like the events that happened 100 years before are like coming back to haunt them. It sounds so good. It's so thick though. It's like 600 pages. But you know what? Oh, I love this page. Anna James spoke very highly of it. The writing is tiny as well. This might take me a while to get through. I'm excited. A big thank you to the publisher for sending me Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. Trisha Levenseller wrote as a Daughter of the Pirate King. I believe they did. I haven't read that series yet and I really want to. I've had it for a few years and I love pirate stories, so... But anyway, this is their new one. This one follows a girl called Ziva who works at a forge. However, she's visited by a powerful warlord who requests that Ziva make him a sword that when used against people, it will reveal their secrets. Ziva makes the sword but realizes that he's going to use it for evil, and so she tries to keep this blade a secret and runs off with her sisters, I think, or just one sister, and flees with them and tries to keep their sword hidden. But it sounds pretty good. Then I picked up 2 books of the month from Waterstones. So one of them is Still Life by Sarah Winman, and the other one is Greenwich Park by Catherine Faulkner. I haven't heard the best of things about this one though since picking it up, so I'm already a bit wary. However, I've heard great things about Still Life. So this one is set in 1944 in Italy. There are bombs coming down from the sky, set during World War II. In the basement of a ruined villa, we have 2 people accidentally meet up, I think. We have Ulysses, who is a young British soldier, and Evelyn, who is an older, like 64-year-old art historian. Apparently Ulysses' interaction with Evelyn will transform his life, and I'm interested to find out what that entails. It sounds like it's going to be a very beautifully written book, and already the ambience of the setting sounds so wonderful. I mean, obviously other than the bombs, but like being set in this abandoned villa and being in, you know, Italy, it just sounds like, if anything, it could be beautifully described and be such a sensory read. That's what I'm looking for in this, so hopefully it delivers. And then Greenwich Park is a thriller. In this one we follow Helen, who is finally pregnant after years of tragedy. She ends up meeting a girl called Rachel who wants to become her best friend. She actually gets a little bit obsessed, and Rachel apparently already knows all of the secrets of her family, and I don't really know anything else other than that. Sounds good in theory, but again, the reviews ever since picking this one up have not made me gravitate towards reading it. Leave a comment down below, let me know if you've read this one and actually enjoyed it. But yeah, this is a case where reviews are slowly putting me off reading it. And actually, I believe one of the people who don't like it that much is Liv from Olivia Reads a Latte. And the next book that I'm about to haul is one that, so in the middle of the night, just out of nowhere, Liv DM'd me on Instagram and said, Gav, get this fucking book. She literally like threatened my life if I didn't get this book. So I got Murder at Pirates Cove, which is by Josh Lanyon, the first book in the Secrets and Scrabble series. And the way Liv described it is what the fuck, she's just mentioned me in her story? Oh my god, like, first it was Katie, then it was Liv, right after speaking about them. Are they in on this? Are they in on some kind of Big Brother shit? Oh yeah, so she said she's reading this cozy mystery series right now, because yes, this is a cozy mystery. It's called Murder at Pirates Cove, and super cute seaside cozy small town main character inherits a murder mystery themed bookstore and old mansion. Again, like, that just sounds so awesome. He's also totally crushing on the sheriff of the town, who I'm almost positive is bi. It's confirmed male cozy mystery. I'm just hoping the love interest is the sheriff. So who knows, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Now I need to read ASAP so that I can find out if the sheriff is the love interest. First one is so cute, and I know you're on your mystery thriller spooky bitch shit recently, so I need this on your radar. So then I sent her a screenshot of me buying it. Because literally, she sold it to me right there and then. So I'm so excited to read this. I need more cozy mysteries in my life, and the fact he inherits a bookstore and a mansion, like, he really does have everything. Scrabble champion and guy with the worst look in the world when it comes to dating. Oh, I just feel like I'm going to probably relate to Ellery so much. Oh my god, I'm so excited to read this now. I want to bump it up my TBR ASAP. Can I fit on my May TBR? I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. Thank you so much to the publisher for sending me The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is a proof copy. The book comes out in July. And I'm excited because I love Silvia Moreno Garcia's other works. I read Mexican Gothic and really enjoyed it. And this one is a reimagining of Island of Dr. Moreau. I think by Lovecraft, but I've never actually read it. I don't think you need to read this. This one follows Carlotta, who is the only daughter of either a genius or a madman we don't actually know. Did I really just do that? And then we also have Montgomery, who assists the Dr. Moreau character. And there are also hybrids, who are these half-human, half-monster hybrids that Dr. Moreau have created. It says, Dr. Moreau keeps secrets, Carlotta has questions, and in the sweltering heat of the jungle, passions may ignite. Because there is also the arrival of charming Eduardo, careless son of Dr. Moreau's patron. So it just sounds like this might end up happening at all, so I'm really excited to read it. And then about a week or two ago, I did a live show with Lexi, Kaylin and Liv from Liv's Library, and Lexi was reading Wild and Wicked Things by Francesca May, and I love the cover of it. I mean, Lexi didn't know a whole lot of what was going on so far, but apparently, judging from some comments, a lot of people don't know at the start of the story either. So I feel like this is one that you have to kind of sift through and try and get through more of it to understand what's actually going on in this. I think it's Great Gatsby, but with magic. I think that's how it's described. But I wanted the signed one with the black sprayed edges from Waterstones, but we sold out of it before I had a chance to get one. And then a customer expired their click and collect of it, so I nabbed that straight away. We follow Annie on Crow Island, who is only there to settle her father's estate. She doesn't want anything to do with magic or anything like that. However, one of her neighbours, Emmeline, is like this mysterious and alluring stranger, and she ends up getting kind of pulled into the luxurious, tempting world of Crow Island. I think I'm going to send Lexi a message and ask her if she's read any more of this, and if any more of it has made sense yet, because as much as I love the look of this and the sound of it, I don't know if I'll fully understand it if Lexi doesn't either, because our tastes kind of align on a lot of things. So let's see. A huge thank you to McKay, who didn't send me this, bitch, but did recommend this for my Cabin in the Woods adventure, so oh my god, it's next week. Next week, I'm going to a cabin in the middle of the woods by myself to read some horror books, and I have a couple more on this list. Actually, I'm going to get them out now. Anyway, I am going to a cabin in the middle of the woods to read horror books by myself. I'm going there by myself. It's going to be good. But McKay from McKay's Book Blogs recommended this for that because I wanted something that would really fuck me up while I'm there. And so Ryan C. Thomas's The Summer I Died. And I mentioned this one in my Books That Make Me Horny for Horror video. If you want to check that video out, I'll link in the description. But we follow Roger and his best friend Tooth. They go to, is it Bigfoot Mountain? Bobcat Mountain, where they just reminisce on good times. They have a good time together. But then a sadistic killer arrives out of nowhere and fucks shit up, essentially. Apparently the sadistic killer has an arsenal of razor sharp blades and a hungry dog by his side. And if McKay loves it, then I'm scared. I'm really scared, but so excited to read it, especially in a cabin in the middle of the woods by myself. And then a huge thank you to Stefana again, because I had these books on my wish list because I also kind of want to read them at the cabin in the middle of the woods. And they are Camp Slaughter by Sergio Gomez and Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. I think for the actual vlog, because I don't know if I'll get to 3, but 2 I think is doable. I do think I'm going to read Stolen Tongues and The Summer I Died. I think these 2 are the ones that I'll read. But this one is a romantic getaway between a couple, and unfortunately one of them, Faye, begins hearing these whispers from this dark figure outside. Yeah, a dark figure looms near the windows in the dead of night, whispering to Faye. As the weather turns deadly, Felix discovers that his terrified fiancée isn't just mumbling in her sleep, she's whispering back. And a lot of people, when I asked for the recommendations for The Cabin in the Woods, a lot of people said to read this one. So I do think I'm going to go for this one and this one because McKay recommended it. But yeah, there is also Camp Soda, which also looks perfect for this. I might try and read it, I just don't think, because I'm only there for 3 nights, so I don't think I'll be able to get to all 3 of them because I want to do other things, but I'll take it anyway just in case. But yeah, this one is about a group of kids who rent out a cabin in the middle of the woods in the middle of Pennsylvania, and there is a cannibal out in the woods who will bring danger to them. It sounds a little bit off-season-ish, and that's the only kind of... Is there a character called Gavin in... There is a character called Gavin in this. I have to read this one. I have to read it. I was just flicking through there and I just saw Gavin. Gavin pushed past them. I'm getting out of here. That sounds like something I would say. Okay, how can I not read this now? Right, I will prioritise The Summer I Died and Camp Slaughter. And then if I do have time, I will read Stolen Tongues there. Oh, God. Now I'm absolutely terrified. Honestly, I'm regretting my decisions renting that cabin. By myself in the middle of the woods. 3 nights. So a brand new book came into the bookstore that looked so good. I'd heard nobody talk about it. In fact, it wasn't even on my radar, but as soon as I saw the cover and found out what it was about, I was like, that's mine. So I have Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz. And I love how it's a girl with a dress, but it looks like a heart. Like, that looks so good. But on the back, it says, a gothic tale full of mystery and romance. So it sounds like a kind of an old school kind of gothic romance story, a little bit like Anne Radcliffe, I'm hoping for anyway. So this one is set in 1817 in Edinburgh. We follow Hazel, who wants to be a surgeon, and I think she goes to like the surgeon school, and she is kicked out of a doctor's lectures because she is the wrong gender, but she still needs to pass her medical examination, so she knows somebody who will be able to dig up corpses, and they do that for a living. She meets Jack, who, you know, is the person who does it for a living, but he has his own problems. He's noticing strange men hovering around the graveyards, and a couple of his friends have been disappearing, so there's like this other mystery going on as well. Sounds fantastic. Gothic romance, so fucking excited. I'm also really lucky to have gotten the Illumicrate Jade City Greenbone Saga series, and I was on the waitlist for this for a while, and then I finally got the email through where I could buy these, and I was like, oh my god. So yes, I have the Greenbone Saga series from Illumicrate. They have the stenciled edge there, I love that. But yeah, I read Jade City a couple of months back and really enjoyed it, so I still need to read Jade War and Jade Legacy. But I'm going to put these straight back on the shelf because I've been sitting here with an empty shelf there pretty much. So they're going back, just to make that look less empty. I'll probably keep hold of the paperbacks though, so I can read those versions instead of the Illumicrate versions because I don't want to damage them. So yeah, really enjoy the series and looking forward to continuing it. A huge thank you to Esty for sending me Desperate Measures by Katie Robert. After reading... what was it called again? It's up there somewhere. Learn My Lesson. Learn My Lesson. I really loved that book. It was so steamy. One of the best steamy books I've ever read. It had some fantastic smutty scenes. Oh, it was so good. And I really enjoyed the story of it as well. That was like a Hercules, Megara, and Hades romance, and this was the first book in the Wicked Villain series. You don't really have to read them in order, but this one will be really interesting to read next. Jafar and Jasmine, I mean, I love me some Daddy Jafar, but I just don't know about how I feel about the whole Jasmine thing as well. So this will be really interesting to read, and yeah, that's all I know about it. It's Jafar and Jasmine. My pre-order of V.A. Schwab's Gallant came as well. This is the Waterstones edition, and signed by the author too. That's pretty cool. And I believe this is about a girl who gets invited to her uncle's estate. However, the letter had come like weeks and weeks and weeks late. So by the time she arrives at the estate, her uncle is dead. Did I get that right? Yeah, the letter was years late, not months, it was years. But yeah, the main character is called Olivia, and when she arrives at the estate, she has 2 rules to follow. And one of them is she can't go on the other side of the crumbling wall or something like that. What was the other one? Always stay on the right side of the crumbling wall, don't go out after dusk. So I imagine strange things happen and Olivia doesn't do as she told. Right, okay, this next one, right, I saw come into the bookstore and I was like, I've heard nobody talk about this. Absolutely freaking love the cover. Reminds me of a little bit of My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. Only the cover, not the story, but that's The Shadow Glass by Josh Winning. This is a fantasy, but it has that 80s vibe that, you know, My Best Friend's Exorcism cover has, and it's like a VHS tape on the side too. I freaking love that. But this one follows Jack, who is haunted by his father's failure. So his father used to be a horror movie director or a fantasy film director that featured puppets, and it was a bit of a cult classic. However, the film flopped. I think years and years later, when Jack's all grown up, he is mourning the loss of his father, and the puppets that were used in that film come to life. So begins a desperate quest to save London from the evil creatures of his childhood stories. So we also have fanboy Toby and studio suit Amelia in tow. Jack must confront the world of the Shadow Glass and do his father proud. It just sounds so good, and I've heard no one talk about this one. So I'm saving this book for a few months for a special reason, which my patrons will find out about soon. In fact, they might already know, I don't know. But if you do want to join my Patreon, I do have a link down in the description box. As well, if you want to give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already, I forgot to mention that earlier, but if you want to do that right now, I'd love you forever. But yes, this sounds so good. And a huge thank you to Liv from Olivia Reads a Latte for sending me Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. I have been so excited to read this one ever since seeing the cover on Twitter. This one is a novel of high fantasy and low stakes. It just sounds so cozy and cute. In fact, it would be perfect to read, I think, with the Murderer Pirates Cove book that Liv also recommended. And I think Liv hasn't read this one yet, so we need to buddy read this ASAP. Yeah, I think we follow an orc barbarian who ends up running a coffee shop in this fantasy world. And I just love the sound of that, okay? It just sounds so good. The less you know, the better, I think. I can't wait. I literally cannot wait. I also picked up Confessions by Kane Minato, and this one I picked up because I have been asked to be a co-host of the month for the Literally Dead Book Club that's hosted by Kayla from Books and Lala. I'm so excited, but I'm also so nervous. Like, I need to make sure that I have things to say. So I'm going to be literally analysing every single line of this. I'm going to be getting my Sharpies out. I'm going to be highlighting everything. So I'm really excited to read this. This one is translated. This one follows Yuko, who is a teacher, and I believe she has to give one last lecture before she leaves. She tells a story that upends everything her students ever thought they knew about two of their peers and sets in motion a maniacal plot for revenge. I have no idea what is going on with this. I remember seeing this a couple of years back. I think a few of my friends were sending it to each other so that they could read it, and they were each annotating it or something like that. I might be remembering that wrong. It's a harrowing confrontation between teacher and student that will place the occupants of an entire school in danger. You'll never look at a classroom the same way again. I'm terrified. I'm actually really terrified to read this. But I've heard great things about it, so yeah. And again, I'm so excited because I'm also doing this live show, not just with Kayla, but with Katie from Katie Coulson as well. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my god. And look who's just this is fucked up shit. Look who's just commented. Kayla, what's going on? Where are the cameras? Where are the cameras? I literally just mentioned Kayla there, talking about Confessions, and then she comments on... I'm scared. Okay, I've only got 6 books left to go. A book I picked up, mainly because of the sprayed edge, that's it, is The Clockwork Girl by Anna Misalo. And yeah, as I mentioned, the sprayed edge, that's why I picked it up. This one follows Madeline, who is the chambermaid of a celebrated clockmaker and his daughter. Madeline, however, is hiding a dark past, and she is there to discover the secrets of this clockmaker and if there's anything sinister going on. Children are vanishing from the Parisian streets. Did I tell you as well this is set in Paris in 1750? Because again, I'm loving myself some historical fiction recently too. It just sounds so good, and that's all I know about it, and that's all I want to know about it. And a huge thank you to Carissa for sending me The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. This one has been recommended to me a lot, and a lot of people I love this book too. This one is set in a world where witches maintain the climate, so like they're kind of in control of the weather and things. Their control over the atmosphere is fading, and then I believe everything is in Clara's hands. And then I think it goes through different seasons and different seasons of Clara's life. It sounds so good. It does. It really just sounds so good. And again, a lot of people I know love it, so thank you so much, Carissa, for sending me this book. This one I got on Erin from Booked and Busy's recommendation, and that is Good Shit, Your Holistic Guide to the Best Poop of Your Life by Julia Bloberger and Rusanita. So yeah, Erin sent me a picture of this on Instagram. I think it's a joke, but you know, I put it on my wish list. And again, the incredible Carissa sent me this. So thank you so much, Carissa. I actually do need this in my life, especially after my books to read in one shitting video. It's actually really filled with some fantastic planners and things, and you know, analysing the shape of your poop. So I had a healthy poop today, that's good. How to poop. Literally, this is pooping 101. I need this. I really do genuinely need this. So thank you so much, Erin, for the recommendation, even though I think you were taking the piss. Look who's laughing now, not me. And then the amazing Nicola sent me Shipped by Angie Huckman. This was a recommendation from Liv, again from Olivia Rizzolatti. She said this has like Mamma Mia vibes, and I'm there for that shit. This was the other book option for Liv, for my I have to read my friends' favourite books or I unsubscribe from their channel. But I played Play Ote Biore with my patrons, and this was on the winning side, and The Burning Girls was on the losing side. I mean, I still wanted to read The Burning Girls, but I wanted to read this more. However, we lost that round, so I ended up reading The Burning Girls. But Shipped, I'm so excited to read. This one follows Henley and Graham, who I think have only ever communicated via email at the place where they work. Like, one of them's a marketing manager, the other one is a remote social media manager, and the bane of Henley's existence. And they end up meeting on a company cruise, and they surprise one another. I think it's romance, so I think they might end up falling in love, but it sounds like a whole, like, enemies to lovers thing. If Liv enjoyed it, then it must be good, right? It must be good. So thank you so much, Liv, for the recommendation. And thank you again, Nicola, for sending it. So the last 2 books are proof copies that the publisher sent me. So I have My Dearest Darkest by Kayla Cottingham. This one I think might be YA thriller. Oh, maybe it's fantasy. Because we follow Finch, who is in a accident that should have left her dead, but something monstrous and ancient and terrifying wouldn't let her die. Ever since she's had this constant pull towards Rainwater, which is a small town that's nearby. And she also starts school at Ulalum Academy. I don't know if I said that right. Yeah, this is definitely fantasy, actually, because Binge, Selena, and their friends accidentally summon a creature of immense power in the depths of the school. So, YA, set at school, magic, and it sounds dark, actually. It sounds good. And then the last book is Aurora by David Coep. Never heard of this one. I think it's sci-fi. So in this one, a solar storm hits the Earth and knocks out the power on Earth, I think for a few years. And we follow Aubrey and her stepson. There are riots. There is a struggle for food. It sounds a little bit, you know, like Walking Dead-esque. You know, when everyone's trying to ration everything except without the zombies. The rule of law is collapsing. Aurora contains two great narratives on a collision course. When, where, and how they collide will keep you turning pages right up to the end. It sounds really good. Thank you so much to the publisher for sending me that one. I hadn't heard of it before, so it's good to be on my radar. So yeah, there we go. I think that was 108 books. I might have counted wrong, but I'm ready to stand up. I've been filming for ages and my arse is asleep now. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below if I should prioritize any of the books that you saw in this video, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye!